Hello, I'm back again. This is Diane, and I've been working on these Circus journals pretty much all day today, and they're finally done. I just have to copy dye the back, or not copy dye, but rub some distress ink on the backs of some of the journaling cards. But other than that, I think they're about done. Finally. But these were so much fun to make. These are vintage Circus journals. I'm going to start with this one. These will be in my shop. I have to say, though, that I think one of them is already taken. I don't know which one. She's going to watch the video and make a selection. But as far as I know, the other one will be available in my shop. I'm going to try to get them listed Sunday afternoon at some point. I'm not going to say a time because Sundays are kind of hectic for me. They're not relaxing for me like they are for a lot of people, but anyway, I do hope to have them listed sometime Sunday afternoon. So we'll start with this one. This one is from a book called The Curly Tops at the Circus, and I will say that I purchased some printables from Gallery Cat and Christie Art Designs, and I will link both of those shops in my description. I also found some freebies on Pinterest, and I will try to point them out. So you've seen the cover of this already if you watched my previous videos today showing how I put the covers together. So I changed my mind on the binding, what I was going to cover the binding with, because I forgot I had this. And I thought it reminded me of a clown's ruffle. And then I put this French braid in the middle of it. There's pom-pom trim showing at the bottom. There's all kinds of yumminess on top with some gorgeous eyelash trim and some fabric tabs. Doesn't it look fun? So the color of the cover is gray and kind of bland. It doesn't really lend itself to Circus, but with all the fun stuff going on, I think it looks fun and circusy. I tried to make it that way, and there's lots of color inside, so let's take a look. There are 3 signatures. Both books are the same measurement. This is 7.5 by 5. 7.5 by 5 inches, 3 signatures. I didn't count the pages. So, signature 1, we have this beautiful image which I found on Pinterest, and it's stitched to black cardstock and then stitched on as a pocket, and there's a white tag inside with, oh, I also had some of these Graphic 45 Le Cirque stamps. I didn't have that Le Cirque kit, but I had this sheet of stamps, and I've had it for a long time. So I finally got to use it. And this is from, oh, there's another printable. I have to look up. I got some printable pages, and there were some cutouts too, so I have to look that up. I purchased it a long time ago because I've had this Circus journal planned for a long time. So I have to find out what the other digital Etsy shop is, and I'll link that below too, because this is one of the cut-aparts. This is a vintage ticket that Tammy sent me, and there's one of my colored bulb pins on there. It's an orange one, and I do have some of, I think I have some left in my shop. I didn't have a lot, so I'm not sure if there's any left. There's some lace trimmed or stitched to the edge. And this is the beautiful napkin that Leslie sent me. I thought it was perfect for this journal, so I used Mod Podge and collaged it to, or decoupaged it to some of the pages. There's a little elephant stamp that I have. And here is something I picked up at a flea market last summer. I've got several of these, and it was a set of Nabisco Toy Town carnival pieces that you would cut out, and it has a color guide to how to color, what colors to use. Put the thing together and you have this little carnival. So each book gets one of those cards. This is a soda stand. So cute, and I put it on with these nice arrow or pennant paper clips. This is from that printable that I can't remember the name of. A fabric flip here with some cheesecloth and trim. I coffee dyed some colored copy paper. This is from this Circus magazine that I got at the same flea market. So it's not vintage, it's 1989, but some of the images look really cool. So it has a lot of different circuses advertised in it. So I just rubbed some Distress ink over it. And there's some vintage rickrack here. This is a stamp down here. And this is a piece of vintage fabric that I made a tab out of. There's a little colored tag. These are also in my shop. Some tickets and another Graphic 45 stamp. These are cutouts from that printable kit. This is from the cat one. What did I call it? Anyway, it'll be listed. So it's just, I got a set of carnival posters, and there's some pom-pom trim down there. Journaling card and another journaling card. This is cut from a vintage children's book. And so I fussy cut it and glued it on. There's some rickrack here. This is from a 1951 appointment book, so you can journal on that. Here's some of the coffee dyed paper with tickets all over it. So I didn't want to take up too much of the writing space, so I made a little tiny pocket, and then I inserted a variety of colors of tickets. The red ones are vintage, the other ones are not, but the colors go great with this paper. So they're just tucked in there. There's a little pocket. I have to put something inside that pocket. And here is a special treat. This is something I found when I was searching Pinterest, and it's from Wings of Whimsy. I think it was from a few years ago, and it's called Swinging Pirouettes. So it was a free printable, so I downloaded it and printed it, cut it out, and actually put it together. So I took it apart to put it in the pocket because it's dimensional. Once you get it together, it's got a slot there and 2 slots here. Very easy to put it together. And there she is, sitting on her swing. Isn't that cute? I love that. Look at that adorable face. Those cute little tights. It's just so cute. And then inside this pocket, which is trimmed with some little tassel trim, is an envelope from that printable kit. And this is from Christie Art Designs. It's on a coffee dyed index card. And I'm not sure where that came from. Gallery Cat, that's the name of that cat one. So then I'll just pop this apart again and tuck it in the pocket. I just thought that was adorable. There's a printable of a ticket, some stamps. This is another piece of vintage fabric. I like that, from what my sister-in-law gave me. And I did some stamping here with some stars and a little zigzag. Another fabric flip with some vintage rickrack. More of the napkin that's collaged on. And then the second signature again starts with a pocket and some trim and a tag. This one has a blue bulb pin on it. Some more napkin. Ferris wheel. This was, I found on Pinterest. It's a circus poster. And there's the famous Emmett Kelly clown, and this was from that Circus magazine. Another piece of vintage fabric. And this is some of my beautiful multicolor eyelash trim that's available in my shop. These tickets were cut from some scrapbook paper I've had for years. This is a Gallery Cat printable, and there's a printable from that kit that I don't know, and this one I found on Pinterest, a cut-out Circus for the children. Of course, I don't think anybody's going to want to cut it out because it's so small, but it's fun. And you can, I distress the back, and there's lots of journaling space. There is a lot of journaling room in this book. Even though there's a lot of stuff in there, there's lots of space for journaling. This is from, this, which I found on Pinterest, and it was a free printable distributed by Gina's Designs. For personal use only, handmade crafts using this sheet may be sold. So it's okay to use in this book. So some of the cutout pieces, I think that other piece that I said I didn't know where it came from was from that sheet. So the 1951 appointment book, some red vintage rickrack, some more tickets. And this is from a children's magazine with this beautiful dancing clown, just for fun. I didn't back it, but you could glue some plain paper on the back of it if you wanted to journal on the back. There's some paper there and some kind of a burlappy looking trim. And this came from that Circus magazine, which I have to back. But I like that picture. Maybe I won't back it. You can back it if you want to, but I like this picture of the man with the elephant standing on its front legs. I don't think they do that anymore. And there's a card from Gallery Cat. There's a printable. I think that came on that Gina's Designs sheet. Vintage fabric tab. Some stars stamped on there. And another fabric flip. There's the top part of the Ringling Brothers and Barnum and Bailey Circus magazine image that I found on Pinterest. And I used some of my stamps and just did this design. I really like the way it turned out, and I think you can journal all over that. I stamped it light enough. I like the colors. An alterations tag, a Gallery Cat image, and here's another pocket with some trim. And then the third signature, again, has the same setup. There's an orange bulb pin there. There's a stamp, fabric flip. This is from a vintage children's book, and someone just sent that page to me. And it was perfect. So another fabric tab there, stamp, and these are Gallery Cat images, and the tickets I found on Pinterest, and it's a replica of a ticket from Barnum and Bailey Circus. Some of them have, say, adult, and some of them say juniors, I think. A little glassine bag with a couple of those tickets inside, and a printable ticket that I tucked behind. And there's another image from the children's magazine. Had a little puzzle to do, which somebody solved and wrote the answer on. If you see this paper here, there's elephants down at the bottom. This is also from the children's book, an Alice and Jerry book. So I cut that out and glued it on as a tuck spot, and I stitched her to a piece of scrap paper that I punched with the ticket corners. I thought that looked cute. And this is also from that children's book page. E is for elephant, and this is from the Gina's Designs printable. And some vintage rickrack and a little colorful library card and some tags tucked in. Isn't that a fun book? This is so fun. And it just closes. It's very fat, so I made this elastic band to put around it. Okay, so this one is called Curly Tops at the Circus, and I'll be back to show you the second book.